Good morning. Early morning it's been today. Started off on the trail at about 20 past 5, half past 5 thereabouts, with the aim of being up on the top of where we are just now, Meall Corranaich, and we've got Meall Corranaich still to go. I say we're at the top. It's about 20 metres up that way as the top, however I can see that's going to land me in the clouds, so I've stopped down here and grabbed a couple of landscape photos. Ooh, you can't really see here, just before we go into the clouds. I was hoping for a really nice sunrise, however it's just a wee bit too overcast, so I'm not getting that, but it's still been a lovely frosty morning, which has been pretty good, because this path has been just through bogs at the start of it for about the first kilometre and a half, proper big bogs where there's no real path and you've just got to try and find your way, which in the dark was quite challenging. So it was an entertaining morning, we'll say. Yeah, a wee bit of a test of patience as always. But it's been enjoyable, wee bit of an adventure, and it's turning into to be quite a nice morning. Still got a wee bit of clouds, but they'll probably disappear once the sun comes up properly. So I've been going for about 3 hours. This hike in total, you've only got 750 metres of ascent, because you're already 500 odd metres up by the time you park the car, which is nice, and it's a total distance of 9.5 kilometres, which I've just reminded myself. So we're just coming up in the 3.5k mark, and that's really the tough part done, getting through that bog. So we'll carry on and hopefully get some views, not at the top of this one obviously, but by the time we hit the second summit, hopefully we'll have the sun up and the clouds cleared a wee bit. It'd be really nice if we get a wee cloud inversion. I've still never had one, but we'll carry on. Go! The wind's picked up, the clouds have cleared, and I'm just hoping you can still hear me. The walk, now that we've got past that boggy bit at the start, we've hit the first peak and we're now just along the ridge. It's a lovely walk, great views all round. There's some snow on the ground, there's quite a lot of snow in some points, and it's just making it really nice. I was close to not coming today. When I woke up and started setting off, it's half an hour into the drive, and I could just feel a cold. It's set in overnight just a bit, so you'll probably hear me sniffling a wee bit. But I'm so glad I did. It's been a lovely walk this morning. The plan is to finish this, have a wee break, maybe a nap in the car, some lunch, and then sunset will be about 5. So I'm not going to do the Tamarachen Ridge, but I'm going to head up to the peak for Meall Tamarachen and try and catch the sunset there. I don't mind walking in the dark, I've got a good head torch and I'm quite happy with it, but that's a very long rocky ridge, and with it being snowy and icy, I just feel it's a bit too dangerous and not really worth it. And I'll probably come back and do the full ridge another time, either myself or with somebody that's wanting to do it, because it does look like a stunning walk. But if I can be up there for sunset and just try and catch the ridge, I think that should be in the right direction, then I'll be happy with that. But Rachel's been happy, she got to have a run in the snow. She absolutely loves the snow, so she's glad to see that. And you might notice she's got a new wee jacket. As much as she's a husky cross, when you're stopping and you're taking the photos and stuff, sometimes it's quite exposed and she's still just sitting there. So I've just got her that. Well, actually, I was given it. She works with a company, Ashcroft Animal Accessories, so you can find them on Facebook. They hooked me up with all the dog supplies, so anything you see Leith using, it's them that do it, and their stuff's really good. It's brilliantly priced as well, and they've always got a range of colours. I stick with the orange, basically because we're out in the hills a lot, so that's the colour. If they're culling the deer, then they'll look out for the orange. That's the hunters use, same as America and all that, and it makes her very easy to spot if she's off the lead, but I tend not to do that too often anyway. But yeah, you can find them on Facebook. I don't think there's a website yet. If I give them a wee look, I'll stick a link down below. I don't get a kickback or anything. Also, they help me out with some equipment for Leith falling. I definitely recommend them. For the price, I'd say they can't be beat. And they also donate a portion to charity. So I've got, oh, there's deer running in the distance. I've got about a kilometre tops until we hit the next peak, which isn't a overly dramatic one. You can see it just up ahead, and then after that it's just a slow descent back down to the car, and we'll go from there. Just beginning the descent from the second peak, Meall Corranaich, if I'm having a guess at that correctly. We're about 3 hours and 20 minutes in, so fairly decent time, especially with that bog at the start being done in the dark, which I also lost a bottle of water in. It wasn't until I hit the peak that I went to get a drink and realised it was gone. So if somebody finds that and they want to pick it up, that would be very much appreciated. The second peak, Meall Corranaich, it's Leith. You've tangled me. Right, you go ahead, go. The second peak, it's a very undramatic peak, as in it's very flat, the cairn itself is not up to much, and you just kind of pop up onto it. But the views from it are brilliant, really nice views all round, especially just now with the surrounding hills just having that nice wee cap of snow on them. It really just accents them very nicely. So I'll hopefully be back in the car in about an hour and a half. Thereabouts. I'm having to take this a wee bit slower than I usually would, just with it being a bit slippier due to it's all ice. But that definitely paid off on the way up, because a lot of the bog was at least fairly solid compared to what it would have been just a month ago. It'd have been a nightmare getting through, so swings and roundabouts with the temperatures. But it's been a really nice walk. Looking forward to getting back to the car, getting something to eat. And we'll get Leith some breakfast as well. She had her first run in the snow for this year, so she's been a happy wee dog. But it's definitely 2 hills. Got to get them done. Really nice. Well worth the wee drive up. And parking for a good 4 or 5 cars, I would say, down at the bottom. So just finished up and got back to the car. Got Leith her breakfast, she's just finished that. Boiling some water, which sounds like it's almost about ready. It took about 4 hours and 20 minutes, which was a pretty good time. I was happy with that. especially with some footing about for photos. Forgot to take food up with me. I had some sweets, which I ended up not eating anyway, but I did make a wrap and totally forgot to take it. But if I'm honest, I don't think I would have bothered stopping up the top. It was too windy. If you stopped, you'd have been freezing cold within about 5 minutes. And by the time you got to a spot where the wind had cut down, you weren't far from the end point anyway. It's a really nice walk, worth doing. The start is pretty boggy. In the daylight, you'll find your way through it reasonably well. It was a bit of a challenge at night, just because you can't really pathfind quite as far ahead. That bog runs right along the base of the hill, so you catch it on the way down as well, because you kind of loop round and come back to it. So it doesn't matter what direction you take, you're hitting that bog at the start and the finish, which is a shame, but it's not the worst one. But I'd really recommend coming up and doing this hill. The scenery surrounding it's beautiful. After you get past the bog, there is a good track. It's quite easy to follow, and there's no other issues. The descent was a wee bit slippy just because it was quite cold, but definitely one to come back to, worth doing. Anyway, my water has boiled, so I'm going to go and have breakfast and a cup of tea.